President Trump loves the military, right? President Trump loves the soldiers, right? President Trump is going to do what's necessary to take care of these guys. President Trump loves all these guys that are working to solve the coronavirus problem, to go ahead and be out there helping Americans to make sure that we do good. That's President Trump. Well, check this out and let's see if you think the same way about President Trump. Let's take it on the other side.
If you want a nomination for the most excruciating Trump administration self-defeating cruel policy of the day, I commend to you this new reporting from Politico, which finally gets to the bottom of why it is that President Trump picked a random Wednesday in June as the day his order would expire that provides federal funding for the deployment of National Guard troops around the country to fight the epidemic. Roughly 40,000 National Guardsmen and Guardswomen are deployed right now around the U.S. It's the largest domestic deployment for the U.S. National Guard since Hurricane Katrina. And these National Guardsmen and Guardswomen, they're doing everything from running community testing sites. They're doing that all over the country. They're providing emergency medical staffing in hard-hit prisons that have tons of cases. They have been running food banks and food distribution sites. They set up field hospitals. They've been dispatched by states like Massachusetts to basically run the state testing program for nursing home residents and staff. National Guard has been doing all of this work under an order from President Trump that allowed for this to be a federal deployment paid for by the federal government. Now, after the president did that in early March, a whole bunch of different members of Congress and senators and governors lobbied the president to please extend that authorization so these National Guard deployments could go right through till the fall, and the federal government would continue to pay for them as a federal deployment. The White House would not agree to do that. But weirdly, they decided that they would extend it a little bit. They decided they would extend the federal deployment to June 24th, which is a random Wednesday in late June. Nobody could really figure out why they picked that day until somebody finally did the math. And as Politico.com reports today, we've now realized that if this thing ends on June 24th, that means that the federal deployment for these 40,000 National Guard troops will end at day 89 of that deployment. And ending on day 89 is really important because if their deployment had gone to day 90, if it had gone one more day, those National Guardsmen and women would have become eligible for some benefits toward their retirement and toward their education funding under the new GI Bill. So President Trump is cutting off their deployment. They're calling it a hard stop at day 89 of the federal deployment, specifically so they don't get their benefits. Thank you, National Guard. This is how your president thanks you. This is how the Trump administration wants you to know that you're valued and appreciated for your work. And not only do the guardsmen and guardswomen get screwed this way personally, but the states, of course, that are counting on all these folks to do all of this frontline work against coronavirus, the states are also going to lose them all. I mean, that takes planning. That takes thought. Don't let anybody tell you the federal government is being slow or lazy or cumbersome here. They're nimble when they need to be, right? They're hard at work, devising complicated systems like that to mess with the people who are actually putting themselves in danger and doing the hardest work to save American lives here.
It takes a certain type of cruel. It takes a certain type of evil. These are people that are risking their lives. Some of these people would have gotten infected. Some of these people likely would have died. These people put their lives on the line. It's too hard to ask us to make sure that they have benefits for us all taxpayers for all the great work that they do, to ask to give them benefits, to ask to give them further education if that's what they want, if that's what they need. Is that too much to ask? After all, the corporations, Trump has been giving trillions of dollars to them, but he likes to say he's for the common man. Now let's have a message to the common man. Let's have a message to the Trump supporter. Do you really think he cares about you? You are the ones who serve in the National Guard. You are the one who spill blood and go out there to fight for us. Do you really think he cares about you? Folks, election 2020. Make the right choice. I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program, a blogger at egbertowillies.com, a writer at several progressive sites, and the author of several books, including As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. I post several news videos of interest every day. I ask you so kindly to subscribe to my channel, and please leave me some comments. Thank you very much.